People say they want change, but they don't really want to change. They say they want to grow, to succeed, but they keep doing the same things. If you truly want change, you don't need to be someone new. You're already wired for it. You already know how to find flaws. You already notice what's wrong in others. Now it's time to turn that same energy inward. Start looking at yourself. Ask yourself, how often do I criticize others? And how often do I check myself? How often do I try to fix others? And how often do I work on me? If something you want excites you, go after it. But understand this, you can't say you want success without being willing to change. If you want something you don't have, you've got to do something you've never done. Because if the current you was enough to get it, you would already have it. So the truth is, you have to grow. You have to change. You have to level up. Be clear with yourself. Are you just talking about success, or are you ready to become the person who earns it? What do you want? Be honest, be specific. You can't hit a target you can't see. I was willing to go through whatever it took because I knew what I wanted. I looked at my life and said, this isn't it. I didn't care about where I was right then because I had a clear vision of where I was going. Most people struggle because they don't have clarity. You have to figure out, who are you? What drives you? What are you great at? When you understand that, you can turn it into purpose, into income, into impact. But here's the truth. If something in your life isn't working, fix it. Stop doing what isn't helping you win. Change is hard, but staying stuck is worse. If you want a better life, get better information, learn more. I had one thing that kept me going. I knew what I wanted, and that gave me conviction. Let me explain. A lot of people say they're committed, but they don't have conviction. They want results that only come from a heart that's fully in it, and they get frustrated when they don't see them. Stop expecting the rewards of the obsessed when you're only interested. You say, why didn't coach start me? Why am I not getting ahead? Simple, you're committed, but the person next to you is convicted. They live and breathe it. They're training when you're resting. They're learning while you're scrolling. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. They weren't just talented, they were convicted. They didn't let feelings decide their effort. You say, I don't feel like doing it. That's the problem. That's proof you're not convicted yet. You ever notice something? You never miss a day when you feel like it. But how often do you move when you don't feel like it? That's the difference between being committed and being convicted. If you're going to win, if they're going to put your name in the lights, you can't just show up when it's easy. You can't just play when the crowd's watching, because there's somebody else, another team, another person who wants it just as bad as you do. So what's the edge? What separates you? Practice, discipline, dominance. You can't dominate under the lights if you can't dominate in the dark. You can't win on the big stage if you don't grind when no one's clapping. I get up at 3 a.m. Why? Because when the world is asleep, I'm working. When they're dreaming, I'm building. By 8 a.m., I've already done more than most people do all day. That's conviction. That's the standard. Your daily routine needs to match your dream. Vision. We don't just have goals. We have a mission. We have a visionary mindset. We don't surround ourselves with people who are just loyal. We build with people who are capable, because when the pressure hits, when the trial comes, that's when the real ones show up. That's when we find out if you're for real. And when life tests you, you don't fold. You don't back off. You adjust. You stay locked in. Eat, sleep, breathe, dominate. We're not playing to the level of our competition anymore. We're playing to the level of our potential. Everything you do, every word, every rep, every move, do it in a way that nobody else can match. Be locked in. Be focused. Pay attention. This isn't casual. This is personal. I don't care who's in front of me. I take this personally. And you know what? I saw this moment before I ever lived it. I was here before I was here. I spoke this life before I touched it. Because you can't win what you can't see. Let me say it straight. You cannot be a prisoner to your preferences. Just because it's how you like it, just because it feels good, doesn't mean it's right. If you're losing, you're losing. That's it. That's the scoreboard. So stop worshiping your preference and start honoring the principle of winning. Because if what you're doing isn't working, you don't double down on it, you change, you adjust, you self-assess. But here's the trap. You keep letting yourself off the hook because it's you. There are two versions of you. the winning you and the losing you. And the one who shows up more consistently, that's the one running your life. When you're trying to score, there will always be people trying to stop you. That's their job. Your job, to not care, to not flinch, to not fold, to run through it. You don't stop at resistance. You push through it. You don't retreat at pressure. You perform under it. Dominate when you feel like it and when you don't. I've dominated my sleep pattern. I've dominated my laziness. I've dominated my procrastination. Wherever I go, whatever shows up, I dominate because there are no shortcuts. Discipline is when you've done it so long, so hard, with so much passion that even on the worst day of your life, you still execute at the highest level. You want to know the truth? Most people won't make it because they don't know what it takes to get there. The clearer your vision, the stronger your conviction. You keep saying you want the experience, but you refuse to change the person. You want the result, but not the refinement. You can't change your life if you don't change your mind. You've got to play to win. You've got to be competitive, even if you're uncomfortable, even if you're unsure. This right here is your space. Own it, compete in it, dominate it. You might not be the most talented, you might not be the most gifted, but you can be the most competitive. You can have the most heart, the most grit, the most fight. It's not for the weak, it's not for the soft, it's for the one who shows up with that dog in them every single day. And here's the wild part. Most people want change more than they want to change. They say it, but they don't live it.